Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Allison.
Hey now.
Greg, what are you doing here?
Hey, what do you mean? Allison,
Where'd you come from, Greg?
I came from the world of Childish, and I just want to make sure that your listeners know that you're just as wonderful on the other podcast you do.
What if they don't have kids?
Don't need them. You don't need them. A lot of our listeners actually tell us they don't have kids. We talk about sex.
We talk about all sorts of dirty stuff, but also parenting stuff.
Yeah, so.
Check out Childish. New episodes every Wednesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Allison is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison, Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Allison Rosen is your new best friend. I'm very excited to have my guest on today. It is actor, comedian, writer Bobby Moynihan. He was on SNL for, if I did my math correctly, 9 seasons. He does voices on tons of animated stuff. He appears on TV. He's in movies. And right now he is playing Jaden Quapis on the NBC comedy Mr. Mayor. And he's also in something called Lofi, which I need to find out more about. Hello, and welcome back to the show.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. You were last on in 2013. And
wow.
Yeah, I know. It's I didn't realize it was that long ago either. And you were talking about the fact that you were now 36 and you felt like it might be time to grow up. And that you did want kids someday, but at that point you said SNL was like your kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And look at you. Like now you've
now I
done
have actual children.
An actual
I have
children.
An actual child. Well, no, I have an actual child. Yes, I named her SNL. Weird enough. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that makes sense then. There's continuity in your own life.
Yep.
You've moved cross country. You're not doing SNL anymore. You're doing other stuff. You are married. You have a child. Fill me. I want to hear everything, Bobby. Fill me in.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, we haven't left the house in a year. Yeah, but honestly, that's it. Ever since SNL, got married, had a baby, been living life, doing a lot of cartoons. Moved out to LA. It's nice out here. We bought a house out here, and all is well. How are you?
I'm good. Since I last talked to you, I've talked to your wife, Bryn, a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, your wife is a very lovely and super talented Broadway star. And
correct. All facts.
Yes. I've seen her in Annie. I've seen her in, oh no. What's the name of the one about Las Vegas?
Honeymoon in Vegas.
Honeymoon in Vegas.
Yes.
Saw her in, oh no. I'm blanking
Probably
on it.
Wicked.
I don't think I ever saw her. Maybe I only saw her in those two. I feel like I've seen her in more stuff, but I'm always blown away. This isn't about Bryn though. But anyway, please give my love to her. But
I will.
I'm wondering, and you know what? Maybe it is about Bryn. I'm wondering how she's doing.
It is. It's all about Bryn in my life, as it should be.
I'm wondering how she's doing out here when Broadway's all the way across the country.
And non-existent at the moment, unfortunately. Right. She's doing well. We're doing okay. Thank God we have an absolutely wonderful child to keep us busy. But all is well. Yeah.
So I do want to find out about your decision to leave SNL and to move cross country and all that. But let's just get into the Mr. Mayor stuff, because I recently learned that Mr. Mayor was originally supposed to be a spinoff of 30 Rock, right?
I mean, I'm not sure, actually. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I read and tell me if this jives with what you know. Because the truth is, I didn't get this from an inside source. I got this from an outside source, a little something I call Wikipedia. So perhaps it's wrong. But what it said was, initially it was supposed to be following Jack Donaghy's entrance into politics. And then Alec Baldwin dropped out. Ted Danson signed on, but he didn't want to live in New York. Or he didn't want to move to New York. So then it was rewritten as a show, set in Los Angeles. Is that right?
I'm sure in some capacity they offered it to, or it was thought of for Alex at Alec at one point and then went the other way, but I don't know the specifics. I got hired and I'm happy.
So when did you get involved?
Pretty early on. Tina called me up and said, we're doing a new show and we have this character in mind for you and we would love for you to do it. Would you like to do it? And I said absolutely. That would be a blast.
How did she explain the character to you?
I don't necessarily think she did, really. She kind of just said, are you available and around to work? I had done Kimmy Schmidt with Robert Carlock, and Tina's put me in a bunch of things. She's always been absolutely wonderful to me. My first episode of SNL was the first time she did Sarah Palin, and then I was in Sisters and I was on 30 Rock a couple times. She's just always been wonderful to me. And they put me on Kimmy Schmidt and I met Robert Carlock and we hit it off like gangbusters. And they were just like, we're doing this new thing and we would like to work with you. So I think it kind of just, I probably like the first time I read the script was like the first time I saw what the character was. And it has changed absolutely. I mean, like everything does, it changes a million times before it gets to TV. Like the first couple scripts I read, the Holly Hunter character was completely different or wasn't there. And then there was, everything changes so many times. Yeah. So it just kind of ended up what you see on TV.
Right. And when did you guys shoot it? Because I was surprised to see that the pandemic reflected in it.
Yeah, we started shooting a year ago. Like we shot the first, I think we were in the middle of episodes 3 and 4. Like I was on the pitcher's mound at Dodger Stadium when I found out. I looked at my phone and it said Tom Hanks says that he has this thing called coronavirus. And I'm like, what?
Yes.
What are you talking about? Like, I remember just being like, what? And then the next day that was it. And then it was lockdown. Then we came back, I think 10 months later, almost, and did a couple more episodes and have since stopped again.
Yeah. Was that harrowing going back? Was that scary?
I mean, harrowing in the sense of like, I'm not a nurse, I'm an actor and we were extremely pampered and safe, it was a very safe environment. Yeah. I mean, like pretty much the only time I've left my house past the gates or, in the last year was to go to work for that. But yeah, but it felt very safe. It was all wonderful.
I remember, and this is a bit of a gross thing to admit, so judge me if you need to. But just talking about like the first learning about coronavirus, when I first heard about it and like some people are really worried about it, I remember thinking, well, they're saying it's just a cold. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm not scared. Maybe I cannot believe this was my thinking. We can probably like go on a great vacation right now.
Yeah.
And then so fast it turned, that was an inaccurate assessment of the situation.
I just remember thinking like kind of the first of it. I remember hearing about it. And then the first thing being on my radar was that Tom Hanks got it.
Yeah.
And then the next day was like, hey, we don't think we're coming to work tomorrow. And I was like, why?
Mm-hmm.
And then just didn't leave the house from then on.
Right.
From that moment on, I was like, I'll wait and see.
How's
waiting.
it? Yeah, I know. Although I feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but
always.
But it feels closer with the vaccine. But my ability,
the last like 6 hours felt better.
But my ability to withstand it is becoming less and less. Like I feel like it's weird. I almost have a nostalgia for the very beginning, or I have like a fondness for the naivete of the beginning where it's like, oh, look, we get to see in everyone's houses. When I turn on the TV, everyone's connecting from home. And now there's nothing novel about it at all.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's work now. It makes you mad. It makes you go like, oh, I wish everyone just stayed home for a couple months in the beginning.
There were people who were saying just a few weeks. And we could have wiped. Well,
yeah, it's like it's if they were like, "Hey, nobody can leave your house," I'd be like, "All right." At this point, Let's do it. Everybody, where we in? Let's high five and let's do it together.
Right. So how have you guys been managing?
Good. We're you gotta. It's all about self-love. I don't know if that's the right what's the right word? I'm looking
Self-care?
for self-care, not self-love. Well, actually,
for some people that is.
Go for it. At this point, go for it. That's all I'll say about that. No, everything's great. I mean, like, it could be so much worse.
Yes, of course. But I mean, haven't you found yourself going a little bit nuts?
I mean, doesn't everybody? I mean, like, yeah. I just try not to dwell on it.
Yeah.
Try to stay positive.
So you have been in the news a bit last couple days because you did
The news?
The news. I mean, I don't know if like cable news is covering it. I think they're covering the impeachment trial. But if you type your name into Google, a whole bunch of stuff comes up from a couple days ago because you did a podcast where you talked about Trump a little bit.
Oh,
and that,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, have you not seen this?
No.
Oh, let me fill you in, Bobby Moynihan.
What a gotcha interview, Alex.
Really? So it was your interview with a podcast hosted by a Daily Beast writer, and I am the last laugh. I'm blanking on the name right now. But you talked about Trump hosted SNL in 2015, and you had made a joke at his expense. The drunk uncle character had made a joke at his expense. And then he came up to you and you were like, oh no. But then he just thanked you for the wonderful words that you, as a drunk uncle, had said about him. So he really didn't get it. That's going viral, Bobby. And then also,
sure,
you said that he was a single quote around the beginning and end of the word, just not full double quotes, just single quote, a nightmare. But then when you dig into it, he certainly wasn't the worst. But you got like a bratty rich kid vibe.
Yeah.
And now you're trending. Not really.
Sure. Not at all. I this is the first I'm hearing of it. I do remember doing a podcast. He sucked. He was the worst.
Yeah. You don't think you're judging him too harshly?
No. Not even in the slightest.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Good. I got scared for a second.
Oh God. I've changed a lot since we left. No.
I was gonna say, it's been a while.
Oh my God. Just to set the record straight, it's impossible to put into words the damage I feel that he has done. And my fear that the insurrectionists will not receive justice, like that haunts me.
It's abhorrent. It's the worst. It's absolutely terrible. I really am at the point where, like, even when you were saying his name, like, I'm like, there's part of me that's like, I love you, Allison. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm done. I'm done with like giving him any space.
Yeah, it has been. It has been so nice that Twitter is is free of that right now.
Yes, yeah, and right.
It's been really nice, and it's also
actually feels physically better.
Yes, it's also weird to not have Biden in my face all the time. Like, I've gotten used to this, just there being just a president-shaped president, I guess, just right there taking up my attention, and to have that sort of that space cleared is nice. It
is. It's nice to not be forced to worry.
Right. Yes. So tell me about, it was 9 seasons of SNL, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Tell me about your decision to leave and moving cross country.
9 years. It was rough. I was getting old. It was either leave or, get a room with Keenan. And those were actually 2 extremely viable options. Mm-hmm. I would have stayed there forever if I thought my physical body if my physical body could take it and my mind and my want for a child wasn't there, I would have stayed forever. So it just felt like time to go. And I got married instantly and had a kid, and it was the greatest. I miss it dearly, but I also don't in the sense of like I can sleep, and it just was a lot of panic. SNL was my life for 9 years, and it gave me everything and afforded me everything. It was my dream job, and I still can't believe it. And now my life is my wife and children, and that's better in so many ways. But SNL is the greatest. But as far as my decision to leave, like, it wasn't like a big, like, it felt the right time all around, and then it was. I mean, 9 seasons, 193 episodes. I think I'm the 5th longest running cast member. Bonkers.
Who's number 4?
I think it's like Keenan, Daryl Hammond, Seth Meyers, then Fred Armisen, then like me, and I think I only beat like Tim Meadows by like 1 or 2 episodes. Like, he's technically in 10 seasons or something like that, but like they have it by number of episodes on IMDb, and I'm such a weird little SNL nerd that I've clearly outed myself at the moment. But like, still, even that, it's just insane that I was on there that long.
Yeah, when we last talked, you talked about the how you would read Jay Moore's book in between, gasping for airtime in between each season, and how I think it was your 3rd or 4th season was hard for you because you had been the only new guy, and then all of a sudden there was like an influx of eager new talent, and so you weren't assured airtime as much, and it just sounded like it was so rewarding, but there was this aspect of it that was kind of nail bitey.
Oh, always. Still when I think about it. Yeah, well, I mean, in any situation, it was a high pressure situation. Lorne Michaels is like a very intimidating persona, but like now looking back, I'm like, oh, I should have just enjoyed it and had fun because it would have been so much easier for myself. Mm-hmm. But then I also look back and go like, oh, I did. I also had the greatest time of my life. Like, but people don't want to hear that. They want to hear the after party stories and how hard it was.
Well, what I'm wondering though is, was it like that for all 9 seasons, or do you get into a rhythm where you kind of feel you trust your position there more?
Of course. I mean, like you've worked at a place for a very long time, like it's odd with like television too. It was like in the beginning, I thought I was going to get like fired at any moment. That never ended from start to finish. And like in normal people's jobs, I don't think that happens. But like, there's like even the opportunity that you could go on and accidentally curse and get fired. Like, it was like it was just always around. But it's also like it's Saturday Night Live. You can't believe that you're there. It's like going to space. You're just like, what's happening? And then you're like, I want to not look back on this in 20 years and hate myself. And thank God I don't. I had an absolutely wonderful time. If I could go back and do anything differently, I would just slap myself on the face on the first day and go, it's already done. You got the job. Just relax. And now if the more fun you have, the more just unadulterated fun you have and confidence in yourself, the better you're going to do. And that's all I should have said and walked away.
That's so true of like everything in life.
Oh, yeah.
I think. So for how many years did you keep your backpack and jacket, was it, under the couch on the way out?
I think that was early on. That was only early on. Actually, it probably wasn't early on. It was probably like in the middle. And then it stopped, and then I gave up on that. But like, yeah, I was terrified of that place at one point.
And that was so that if you needed to like freak out and grab your shit and go, you could.
Yeah, I definitely had a go bag, like that,
Which I didn't even know. There was a guy who, a former regular on my show, who talked about, what did he call it? A bug out bag. I guess that's like a survival thing.
Oh, amazing. I've never heard it.
Bug out. Yeah, I think you can even buy like a pre-packed bug out bag.
I have like Oh yeah, I live in LA, and the first thing I did was buy those like earthquake kits where it's just like these big things on wheels with crank radios and water and stuff of water filtration and goggles and now masks and hand sanitizer and stuff. Fun stuff.
Because you said radio, I'm going to share with you something that my child said to me last night that is just pinging around my brain, making me worried. And I want to know your thoughts on this. He said to me, Mommy,
how old?
He just turned 4.
Gotcha.
So he said to me, Mommy, sometimes I hear conversations. I don't know if he said conversations or people talking that aren't real. And I was like, and then he said, I think it's from an invisible radio. And then he like in a playful way showed me where on the carpet. He's like, I think the invisible radio is here. But so it's it's cute. But I'm like, oh my God, is he hearing voices? What is happening? Does this happen that young? So I looked it up. I don't mean to make light of mental illness at all, but I did look up schizophrenia children, and like it doesn't present at 4, and also when it presents in young people, it's like there's a whole bunch of other symptoms. It's not just like commenting on hearing things that are made up. I don't know but I think I had an overreaction.
I was going to say that worries me because I would have been like, I see it too. Like I just would have immediately, my improv brain would have said yes. Yeah. And it's purple. And it's like, so I'm glad. I should worry more. If my child starts, maybe he's just pretending.
He needed that. Where were you? I wish you
just take an improv class.
I know. Next time he says that, that's gonna. You know what? When I go in after this show, I'm gonna go tell him that I also see the invisible radio because I didn't. I don't think.
If you say that and he gets scared, then you know you have a problem.
I know, but I don't. I was just. I feel like I had a good game face. You know, I seemed like into it, but I know I didn't yes and him. God damn it! I need to start that scene over again.
It's either that or you have ghosts.
I know. I mean, I don't know. And now I'm embarrassed about my reaction because, like, of course they're imaginative.
I'm trying to think like if it happened multiple times. Like if I was in the situation where I actually thought my daughter was hearing things, which is. I don't know. I don't. Are there real Ghostbusters? Who do you call in that situation?
This is a good question.
I guess I think it's ghosts, and that's why I should not be a father because I automatically go supernatural.
Well, except that I went straight to schizophrenia, so I'd say neither of us should be.
It shows where we lie. We both need classes.
Neither of us should be parents. Okay, question for you. You mentioned that you outed yourself as an SNL superfan. But you also previously outed yourself as a Lost superfan.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I don't think it came up then. No, it did actually. I've never seen Lost.
Oh, so okay.
But now...
hey, I gotta go. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I have oodles of time. I mean, not really with children, but
yeah.
I'm open to starting a new show. A lot of people are angry at Lost. Should I watch Lost?
Well, I mean... Yes, I love it. I mean, like, yes, some people were angry with the ending. I personally was not angry with it. I understood it and I enjoyed it. I love the whole show. Lost also, I think what people don't realize when they talk about Lost is that it was the show that really, really, like, reinvented or maybe even started that, like, first of all, the pilot's absolutely insane. And then it's like you had to wait a week every week when it was on. You really had to wait. And that was the thing, was the waiting and everybody talking about it. And like how there were more questions than answers. So I don't know what it would be like to just sit down and watch it all in a clip from beginning to end. Like to invest, like, let's just say you decided like, okay, I'm going to watch Lost from start to finish and that huge chunk. Yeah, I guess maybe it would be it's kind of was the experience of Lost and the community that it created. Like, like now they have Breaking Bad, and it's like kind of like there are shows like that, but I feel like at the time Lost was the first like real like show that like really made people go like, ooh, what is this?
Right. What's going on?
There's been no show before or since that the second it was over, I got on message boards and talk to people I didn't know about a television show. Like, it was fun.
I found myself not actually commenting, but going on message boards to read about Westworld in the first season.
My sister was super into that too. I enjoyed Westworld. I did not get on message boards for it, but I enjoy it.
I know that you at one point were into reality shows. Are you still? Because I am obsessed with Below Deck right now.
Amazing. I have seen Below Deck a lot in the beginning. I see very little. I'm in bed by 8:30 p.m. every night ever since I had a kid. I'm terrible. Yeah. I catch, like, I'm watching WandaVision right now, and like there are certain things I'll watch, but yeah, no, my intake of entertainment has become like TikTok for 5 minutes, like that, like dumb videos. Like I have no attention span anymore. I watch an insane amount of Pixar movies and Steve and Maggie on YouTube. a British guy with a bird puppet named Maggie.
We haven't seen that. There's so much.
You don't know Steve and Maggie. Steve and Maggie is the greatest.
He's super into Pocoyo, which he just found.
God bless you.
Pocoyo, Super Y, Blippi comes in and out.
Oh, Blippi.
Yeah. I kind of enjoy Blippi.
Yeah. Isn't there like some crazy thing about Blippi though? I don't know. Google Blippi. It's no fun.
Oh yeah. No, that came up. Who was it who was just I was on a podcast called The Daily Zeitgeist, and Blippi came up and they were like, "Are you aware of the controversy?" And I said, "Oh, I sure am." So the guy's name is Stephen John, but he was a gross out comedian named Steezy Grossman. And he took a shit on some guy's chest. But it's just, I mean, is that not the American dream that now he can be a children's superstar? Like, superstar.
You shit on a guy's just one day, and then another day, someone has a stuffed animal that has a voice in it.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome to America.
There also was a little bit of controversy, but not in the same fun way. He had the live Blippi experience or something like across the country, but it wasn't him. It was someone dressed up. Oh,
it was just like a pseudo Blippi.
Yes,
a fake Blippi, like
Blippo.
Gallagher too.
Yes. Wait, did you watch Kidding on Showtime with Jim Carrey?
I did not.
Okay. I only saw the first season. I need to watch the second season, but there is something he plays a Mr. Rogers type character, but there's like they're going to make a live.
I thought you meant Blippi for a second.
Oh, no. Jim Carrey.
It's like, what?
Anyway, I'm realizing they might have like done sort of a take on not the chest shitting, but the him not being himself. Anyway, let's get back to you, Bobby.
No, I'd like to continue talking about Blippi.
So how do you and your wife divvy up the childcare? Because Daniel and I, both of whom work, we're kind of going at the beginning, we're going nuts. And then we like came up with a schedule that changes each day. And we sort of switch off every 3 hours.
That's pretty good. I mean, we're kind of the same, but like, I don't think it's as structured. I feel like we're pretty good. I'm very much a morning person. I get up and like I'm the most effective for the first couple hours of my day, and then I slowly start to lose steam. And she's the opposite, where like she needs a build up, and so we just kind of fit perfectly that way. And and I'm able to work from home, so we're here, and everything's okay.
So go to bed by 8:30.
I wake up early. I wake up like 4 or 5, kind of. Well, 5 usually. I'm exaggerating. I wake up at 4 when I can't sleep, but I get up pretty early.
Just to hold a mirror up to that. that it's not like you said, oh no, I get up at 5. And I'm like, oh, because that makes sense. Like those are both insanely early times to me, 4 or 5.
Yes, very much so.
And then what time does your
SNL just, I mean, like I was a bartender for many years and like did comedy and then SNL. Like I've always had weird sleep patterns. For 10 years, I slept for like 4 hours a night and then from Sunday to Monday. For 20 hours straight. Like it was like I always had weird sleep patterns, but now I've just kind of had somewhat of a routine for long enough that like, yeah, I just get real tired early. I just kind of sleep when I feel like it's time.
That's that self-love or self-care. Yeah. Is it even possible to have a child and be doing SNL? I mean, I know it's possible, but.
Oh yeah. I remember Bill Hader had a kid while he was on SNL. Yeah. And yeah, it's extremely hard. You know, I wouldn't want to. Looking back now, like I don't know. I think obviously I would have been able to do it. You make it through everything, but it would have been extremely hard. There's part of me that wishes I had the implantation that having a child gives you, that you are not the most important thing in the world. Like I wish I had that before SNL, but not the but I would have died from never sleeping.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, because I remember like the insane SNL hours, the staying up writing all night Tuesday. Did that get more and more difficult as you got older?
Well, I mean, sure. Yeah, but it also lessened in a way, in the sense of like towards year 8 and 9, like I didn't go to every after party. And, you know, sometimes I was home at 1:15, or I would, the show ended and 4 minutes later, I was walking through Times Square. People were like, what just happened? Like, you were just like, and yeah, I kind of made it easier on myself. But yeah, I got old and tired. I was older. I mean, I was 34 31 when I got it, 31. So I was almost 40 when I left, or 40.
Was the plan?
I don't do math anymore.
There's no need. Was the plan always to move to LA?
No, not at all. I would have stayed in New York for forever. It more just felt like there's more space, and the work that the definite job that I had was out here, and then I got lucky and got more.
Oh wait, which was the definite job?
I was on a sitcom called Me, Myself, and I, and by definite job, I mean show that got canceled immediately. But like at the time, you know, I should say definite contract signed. So
that was the impetus to come here.
Yeah, I mean, like it was SNL was ending. I was looking for the next thing to do. That's such a huge thing in the SNL, you know, career spectrum, is what are they going to, you know, do when they leave SNL? And everyone's like, is that why you left? It's like, no, it's a job I got. We're all, you know, we're comedians working. And yeah, that was the job I took, was a CBS sitcom where I was a single dad. And I learned a bunch, and it brought me out here and afforded me to move into a nice house for a pandemic for a year.
Do you miss New York? I do.
Yeah, I do. It's so funny to see like people shoveling snow in their driveway and being like, oh.
I know.
I do. I miss having to put on 50 pounds of clothes to go get a bagel in the morning.
Your baby was actually born when you guys were still in New York, right?
Yes, she was born in New York City.
What was that experience like of having a baby in the city? Because that seems difficult.
It's funny when you say that. I think of Seth Meyers. Do you know the Seth Meyers story?
Oh, right, where she was born in the elevator, right?
Yeah, whenever someone says is like, "What is having a baby?" Like, I'm like, we didn't have it bad. We didn't have it bad at all. I mean, it was crazy. The day she gave birth, we like, you know, went down the stairs. she wasn't feeling well. Got downstairs, got in an Uber, and went to the hospital. And it was so fast. It was just so crazy. But as far as like being in the city, like I don't know, it was. We had been in the city for so long, and I don't know I just keep thinking back on that whole day as like. It went perfectly. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want to ruin it. I feel like we used up all our good luck.
Oh, that's good. So you show really good birth.
Yes. Super simple. Everything. It was happy, healthy.
Good. Good. Are you liking parenthood?
Of course. I wish I was like, yeah, it's the best. I mean, it's that. It's the it's the greatest. We're in a really fun time right now. Where like right now she's just starting to really, I don't know. She's getting funny. She's doing bits. It's fun. It's the like concern over a baby is over, and the excitement for like, oh, we're starting to build forts. So I feel like that means Legos are coming soon, and that means like I'm a child. So like I'm just like. I got a friend to play with for the next couple years, and I'm excited. It
is fun when they morph from baby to very small person. Like that's happening now with my 2-year-old. He's starting to be way more interactive and fun, and it's like a new person has entered.
It's like we haven't had a play date in months, and then we're inside for 2 weeks and we have a play date, and and then that night she'll be like a year older. Does that make sense?
Yes.
We went to like one of those drive-through, like it was like Jurassic Quest, like where you just get in the car and you drive around and you go, they have a bunch of these things in LA where it's just like, now that's the entertainment that we have. And it's like that experience like that, like it'll be like 3-week periods, and then all of a sudden she'll jump.
Yes.
What seems like years in comprehension.
It's so weird the way. Yeah, it's so weird the way like the development seems to be in fits and starts. Like all of a sudden there's like, oh, you're speaking in paragraphs now. And yeah. Listen, you guys and Bobby, if you're having trouble meeting your goals or difficulty with relationships or trouble sleeping, or you're feeling stressed or depressed, BetterHelp is available. BetterHelp offers online professional counselors who can listen and help. You simply fill out a questionnaire to assess your needs, and BetterHelp will match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. BetterHelp counselors have a broad range of expertise. This service is available worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send unlimited messages to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. Everything you share is confidential, of course. If you don't feel like the therapist that you have been matched with is a good match, you can change as many times as you want. So don't worry, you are not committed to someone. It's not like, oh no, now what do I do? They will get you to the right person. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/bestfriend. Visit BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/bestfriend, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced BetterHelp professional. Bobby, tell me about...
You made that sound like I was the BetterHelp professional. No,
are you?
I might.
Can you help me? Tell me about Lofi.
No, it's Lofi is insane. It's a little cartoon we got to make with Comedy Central. I was looking to me and my producer friend Luke Kelly Klein, this guy looking to do. Animation. I've been doing a lot of animation. I thought it was fun and wanted to do. I used to love that show, Dr. Katz, professional therapist that was on Comedy Central. Felt improvised, and it was just kind of had like that. I think it was like they called it squiggle vision. Like the animation was just real.
It's like jittery.
Stylized. Yeah, it was real stylized cartoon. And I just always enjoyed it and kind of wanted to do just a super weird cartoon and was lucky enough that I got they said yes, and I got called in a bunch of favors and got some friends and then some people that I just always wanted to work with and said, hey, do you want to be in a cartoon about a manatee that deals weed from his tank at a zoo?
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts.
So I know that you collect tons of stuff, and when we talked, you had like just tons of toys in a storage unit, right?
Yes, still do.
And comic books. You still do.
Yeah.
Did you move that all out here? And do you let your daughter play with any of it?
Yes, she plays with all of it. That's the best part is now it's being used and it's all getting its intended use is being had. I just can't get I moved a lot of stuff out here when we moved, and then it was like, a couple months we'll get the rest of it, and then pandemic happened, and now I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, we'll see.
Do you still have a place back there?
No. We did for a little while, and then yeah.
I have to tell you, and this is going to sound weird, but your wife is the one who sold me on getting a king size bed, because at
that's
the time,
the best sentence I've ever heard. It's the best sentence I've ever heard.
Should we stop it there? No, and we're done. Because at the time, Daniel and I had a queen bed, which is fine, but it's still pretty like you don't have that much space. And she talked about like in a king, you can like roll towards your partner and then roll a couple times away. You both have so much. And now I can't even imagine not having a king bed now.
I wish I was kidding. This is not a joke. I had a conversation with her this week about getting a bigger bed.
Wait,
I'm 100% not kidding.
Do they have
some
bigger beds than
they have something called a California king that's bigger than a king size.
Oh, yes. Just so you know, I don't want to rain on your parade. A California king, I believe, is only longer. It's not wider.
That's bigger though, right?
I think it might be a little bit narrower.
More bed. Oh, if it's narrow. Oh, you mean long? Well, then we just have to sleep sandwich wise. We got to sleep the other way.
Look it up. Don't get bitten by this snake. I think it's a tiny bit narrower and a tiny bit longer.
Have you ever seen those? Have you ever seen those like dividers they sell or for like hotels that you can like so you can push two beds together and it's like a pillow that's shaped like a T almost?
No.
So it's like a pillow that's shaped like almost like this.
I can imagine it.
Thicker
Yeah.
here, so that you push two beds together and you put that so it makes it into one big bed.
Right. That would be bigger than that would be bigger than a king.
And
because
get 5 king size beds and 5 of those pillows.
like giant Legos, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like, I really would just love to just put mattresses all over the floor and just sleep there. That would be nice.
Is a little bit of a like Playboy Mansion kind of thing.
That seems a little weird.
But
I guess as an adult, it's probably good to have an actual bed.
Yeah, but I mean, there is something appealing about just a whole squishy floor.
Yeah. I want a house with many theme rooms. One just being giant bed, one being giant bathtub.
Yes. What a weird way to say yes. Yeah. But I mean, I see the fun of that. All right, let's do Just Me or Everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay. Melissa Lansdowne says, sing Hakuna Matata every time Allison talks about MeUndies problem-free philosophy. So that is a reference to one of my sponsor reads. And I guess of course I say it from the heart, so I know what I'm saying. But I talk about their problem-free philosophy, but I'm not that familiar with Hakuna Matata. I know it's Lion King, right?
Yes. Seriously? You don't know Hakuna? You don't know?
Does it mean no worries?
Oh, come on now, Allison Rosen.
Does it mean no worries?
Matata? Of course it does.
Does it mean no worries for the rest of your life?
I'm seriously, I feel like Hakuna Matata is one of the greatest well-known songs of all time.
You know, for some
means
reason,
no worries for the rest of your days.
But bare necessities, it like Hakuna Matata starts in my head and then it It's called The Bear. And like that is just kicking it out because we just watched Jungle Book recently.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I know Hakuna Matata. I'm sure I know
Yeah.
it.
How can you? That's one of those songs where I go like, if you have ears and you've ever been to a store, you have to know it. It's like that's like not knowing "Let It Go" from Frozen. In my mind.
Have you guys gone through a Frozen phase?
Of course, yes. Whenever I hear certain Frozen music, I am immediately taken back to that like time period of my life when we were in this brand new house. It was like right before we were moving into yes, very much so.
But is it behind you? Because we're in an extended Frozen phase that will just like the never-ending winter of Arendelle. We're in perma-Frozen phase.
The Frozen phase was long. I guess like what would be the thing that she loves? I mean, like the biggest phase we're in right now, and shockingly enough, but I'm extremely excited about it, is very spooky Halloween stuff.
Oh yeah,
like loves Nightmare Before Christmas, and like loves anything with a witch, a zombie, or a Dracula. She loves and loves all the scary parts of like the Pixar movies. She's an adrenaline junkie.
You have a cool daughter.
Yeah, she's nuts.
Okay.
In a good way, in a very, very good way.
Rio 3000 says, whenever I see a tanker truck on the highway, I imagine it is full of milk. No, I don't do that.
I get that. I get that in the sense of, for some reason, and I don't know why. Well, actually, I know exactly why. I'm lying. When I was a little child, I saw a limousine go by, and my father, I think he was trying to be funny, was just like, "That's Eddie Murphy's limousine." I have no idea why. I'm sure I could have asked him before he passed of what he was talking about, but now I will never know. And so to this day, whenever I see a limousine, I assume Eddie Murphy is inside. Always. Whenever I see a limousine, I just assume that's Eddie Murphy's and he's got somewhere to be.
Do you wish you had asked your dad what he meant?
No, I'm kind of glad that I'll never know.
I'm trying to think if I see a tanker. I mean, I get thinking that it's like got refrigerated perishables. I get that. Jesse Hoover says,
I think I will say from now on, I will think that.
Yes. Yes. I like that in a segment where we share our quirks and find out we're not that alone. Sometimes we just pick up more quirks. Jesse Hoover, when I add eggs to the pan for frying or the bowl for baking, I count each one as I crack it just to make sure I have the right amount ready to go. I don't do that.
That's a very safe way to live. I like that. I don't do that. I guess like I would go like, if I forgot, I would go check how many shells there are in the garbage.
You know what's
but you wouldn't have to do that if you were prepared.
Right. You know what's a safe cooking thing is like if you're measuring out some spices, to not measure it out into the measuring spoon over the bowl of ingredients you're going to pour it into. But I live on the I'm like your daughter in that way. I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Over my child's open eye.
That's the best way to do it too. Yeah. Okay. Wit Yao, what a fun name, says, having to write in-class essays always made me have to pee. Just me or everyone. Everything makes me have to pee nowadays. But no, I don't recall that making me have to pee.
Wait, what having to do?
Having to write in-class essays.
Oh, I think that just happened to be that time was passing and she had beverages before it.
Maybe. Yeah. I though used to write in erasable pen. Did you ever go through an erasable pen phase?
I don't necessarily know if it was a phase, but I have used erasable pens before, sure.
I'm going to call it a phase for me because it was like I was afraid to use I admired the boldness, the audaciousness of people who could just commit to a pen. I needed my erasable pens.
I was strictly Sharpie from a baby. No.
Wow.
No, just-
Now that is someone who
That
is
is-
comfortable
that
with their
confidence.
voice. And the thing about erasable pens is the ink and all the words would like then transfer onto the side of your hand, which I'm holding for anyone who wants to see what I'm talking about and wants to see when Bobby said that T pillow connector thing. It looks like this. You can see that at youtube.com/Allison Rosen. Please make sure you're subscribed. Okay. And lastly, Crystal Lorenz says, I keep my thermostats at even numbers, both in my car and my home. Examples are 68, 74, 78. If they are on odd numbers, I have to change it. Well, Krista, that's nuts because obviously you should be on odd numbers, which is what I prefer.
Is that true?
Not the thermostat, but like, if I'm going to set an alarm, I'll do it for, 8:01 or 8:11 or something like that. I don't know
Interesting.
what, just because I'm not going to be their bitch, I'm not going to play by their rules.
That's a fantastic way to put it. That's funny. I have a number. I definitely have a numbers thing. I have the thing with the lost numbers and then like a couple other numbers.
Like what?
Like I have, well, like a 19 was like my hockey number and just like a unlucky number in my life. And now like the number of my daughter's birth, like, just certain numbers, keep popping up. But if you look for it, put the lost numbers too. I also put the lost numbers like it's in everything. Like their lost numbers show up in all of Lofi. I put them in a bunch of SNL sketches. I definitely put them in a Mr. Mayor episode recently on a notepad that I was holding.
See, and I don't even know what the numbers are because I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
well, you'll see, and I won't spoil it for you. Enjoy.
I think I need to watch it, except that so many people were disappointed with the ending because they felt
It's
like it was
crazy to me that you don't know the numbers from Lost and Hakuna Matata. Those are two things in the zeitgeist that I feel like you
I should
like.
know.
I was not a big Seinfeld fan, but if like somebody made us like a reference about the puffy shirt, like I was like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. And I really feel like I've gotten far in life by knowing just enough. But this is where it all came crash. My house of cards came crashing down, Bobby.
Maybe I'm just being a nerd snob, and that's all.
I was going to ask if you are judging me, and I guess I have my answer, don't I?
No, I just can't. I just am truly fascinated.
By us dullards.
Hakuna Matata is no. Hakuna Matata is just something that I go like. I feel like Hakuna Matata is like happy birthday, like you just know it. Maybe I'm being way over presumptive. Like my daughter knows Hakuna Matata. I think.
Maybe I need to ask Owen won't be able to offer an answer that makes sense, but I need to ask Elliot if he knows it. Like I said, I think I know it for some reason, Bare Necessities is elbowing it out of the way.
Okay, put it this way. Do you know about this trend? Or like put it this, if I went into a Home Depot right now, today, with a mask on, and I went, Hakuna Matata, I bet you a bunch of people would start singing the correct lyrics. But if I went into, maybe not a bunch of people, just if I was lucky enough to get some fun other people like me in a Home Depot. But if I went into a Home Depot and sang Bare Necessities, I think a bunch of people would just go, what?
But if I were in there
shopping.
also with a mask, I would be like, I know the lyrics. I'm not going to sing them.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think there's more chance of Hakuna Matata singers in a Home Depot than there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so what happened? Just sing it a tiny bit.
Never. My wife is a Broadway singer, and I refuse to sing on tape anymore.
Fine.
Well, it's Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata for the rest of your days. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata.
Okay, I just need to redeem myself for a second. No, it's not, there's no redemption here. It's just an excuse. I need to offer an excuse, which is I have 2 children. They are making me way less smart. So I suspect I know it. And unfortunately, the slate has been wiped clean with other unimportant stuff.
My hope is that I am in no way making you feel less than for not knowing the lyrics to Hakuna Matata. I'm just shocked.
I feel judged.
I don't mean to. You should.
I'm not going to release this. This is just going to be lost to the sands of time. Bobby, it was so nice catching up with you. Please
Same
tell
here.
everyone to plug anything you'd like to plug. Tell them what to go look for.
Oh, go look for things that you love. Actually, go watch Mr. Mayor on NBC at 8 p.m. If you don't do that, watch it on Peacock
That's
or
right.
Hulu.
And we should all go check out Lofi too. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, check out Lofi on Comedy Central or on YouTube. Just type in Lofi in Google and have a good day.
Yes. And while you're on the internet, perhaps you would like to see my Amazon storefront. I've collated, curated, put together all this stuff, products that I recommend and use. You can shop beauty stuff, all my podcasting gear. I have stuff for kids and home, and a Daniel's Corner where I've put a lot of embarrassing items he uses. Beano, Breathe Right strips. I could go on. He's going to, it's a longer story. He hasn't had time to add his own stuff, so I've added it for him. But it is stuff he uses. Amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen. Amazon.com/shop/Allison Rosen. Also, if you like what you're hearing, make sure you're subscribed. And if you would be so kind as to leave a review of this show, it helps us out so much. 5 stars. It is my favorite number. Also, listen to my parenting podcast that I do with Greg Fitzsimmons. It's called Childish. And I'm on Patreon. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. Bonus episodes, weekly Zoom parties, all sorts of fun stuff. And I'm also on Cameo. Bobby, thank you so. Oh, I forgot. I should have said. And please follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, Bobby, thank you so much. It was so wonderful having you on the show. Listeners, thank you for listening. You matter. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show?